begin. It's always an honor and a privilege to have all of you come in and join, and all of you so eager and keen and responsive. And I know also want to congratulate all of you who are doing such wonderful things, serving humanity, living your purpose, etc. But really going out there and exploring endless possibilities to be involved with the shifts in the planet, the shifts in humanity, and shifts in yourselves, most importantly. I was speaking to somebody today, and she said to me, Jane, I honestly believe this year is about, well, we know it's about the individual. She said, but it's really about us individually knuckling down and getting our work done. And I think that, couldn't be more further from the truth. So here we are again, and I've come into this year, like most of you as well, really strong. I'm really pumped up. I'm really ready to receive everything that is going to come my way, and to also overcome whatever else may come my way in form of a challenge as opposed to obstacles. So I think the energy this year, astrologically, in any event, it's a lot about Jupiter, and Jupiter is about abundance, as we've heard. So the abundance will come in different ways and in different forms, and depending on the house that it's entering into your birth sign or natal chart in, just to say. So the abundance will come into you differently to in other people, for example. So it's useful to know to also look out for it. And it's very much, I think, about really shifting into the higher astral part of our soul. The lower astral is got to do with who did it. It's got to do with three-dimensional space. It's got to do with not wanting to transform, not wanting to shift, not holding on to the negativity of 2020 and before. So the newer paradigm, we've also spoken before, is really about letting go of the old negativity that's not serving us, and moving forward with a new change, coming out of chaos into the new patterns and the new things, the new ideas, really using our inspiration, our imagination, our intuition from a spiritual point of view, which is a potential energy, and then manifesting that in the form of a kinetic energy, which is what we do. So it's very much that interplay between being inspired, dreaming, being inspired, and then manifesting. So ultimately, it's about manifesting. Otherwise, we are still in dialogue with ourselves intellectually, if you like. So that's why I am congratulating you. Many of you step forward, and you really are going for it. And that's just awesome. And we need to move with people that are moving with us, because that kind of collective energy is potentiated amongst ourselves. So we started off with a topic which we then changed, because I think it was quite a useful exercise. We can drill down on the old and use the old words and all the specific words we decided not to use, or we can actually raise the vibration and use different words. So instead of are you protected, are you this, are you that, to rather say, well, let's raise our vibrations, let's use strength and courage. That's far more enlightening. You can see already just the different space between the two different words. So it was useful for me too. And whilst we're dealing with the cross-section of people, to some people, the thought of raising their vibration, or even how do you spell vibration, is so far away. So maybe those people, you want to alert with a different kind of words. But I believe we stay in the channel that we're in, and we gather momentum in that way, and the whole thing can hopefully move with us, for example. So we are going to look at this year from a strength and a courage point of view. We're going to awaken ourselves up to new knowledge, specifically knowledge, because this new astrological alignment is Aquarian, which is about knowledge and fact. What you measure is real. Gone are the days of the subjective belief. Okay, we don't want that anymore. So in terms of the paradigm shift, the people that are moving up the new paradigm, because you get a downward paradigm leading out and you get the new paradigm coming in. They're the people that are understanding the kind of works about vibration shifting, moving forward, etc., and higher energy levels. So that's what we are going to look at. But we do need to go back to basics, and we do need to also understand what I am talking about. Okay, and then take that and put it into your various folders in your brain and in your cells and in your memories, and then we will know exactly what's going on. So actually, this is the third time I'm presenting the same type of information today. So there is a real call for this kind of information. I'm going to be looking at in order to do this and to build our strength and courage and knowledge. I'm going to be looking at good foods, obviously. I'm going to be looking at what these real toxins are. Some known, some not known. I'm going to be looking at antioxidants versus oxidants. I'm not sure if you know the difference. And then I'm going to be talking also about things like electromagnetic nutrients, like a zeolite, paramagnetic rock dust, those kind of nutrients as well. And also just moving on to looking at the human genome and what this is actually all about. Because at the end of the day, if you've been following my lecture series and things, the DNA is held in the human genome, and that is the place of creativity, of consciousness, of transcendence, of transformation, and where we live our purpose. So we need to, whatever we're doing and whatever we're speaking about today, we need to safeguard that, because that is our space of creation. And creation is where we understand and intuit the ideas, and from where we manifest, as in a golden mean, as the DNA unfolds. So it's a very important place. It's our blueprint, and many toxins do affect it. So yeah, as I said, it's a very sacred part of us. So maybe if we just start with with foods in general, and there's food and there's food, and Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food." And I think we've done a pretty good job at reducing the nutrient content and the value of the commercially grown, commercially available foods that are out there on a general level. So in order to live optimally, the two highest foods for this would be raw milk and green juice. All right, so those, if you're consuming those kinds of foods, you're going to be living optimally, at optimal health. No one wants optimal health. We want to go for maximum health, let's be honest, because maximum health is going to give us the protection plus the ability to transform. And we have all of these beautiful foods actually in our universal pharmacy in any event. So I'm talking, yes, I'm definitely talking about superfoods. I'm talking about things like algae, chlorellas, blue-green algae, medicinal mushrooms like cordyceps or lion's mane or reishi. I'm talking about pollen, propolis, raw jelly, these really high-frequency foods. Many of them, and I'll mention it again a bit later, actually assist the body in producing RNA. So a bee pollen and a chlorella actually assist the body in producing the necessary contents of our entire human genome. And so we have it there too, but we also have other products which I'll speak to you about a little bit later too. So we're going for maximum health, maximum vibration, also organically grown fruits, nuts, seeds, and of course sprouts. So those will give us our sort of our inner part of our choice of foods, or our shopping basket, if you like. Those are very important, and along with that is like a cold pressed flax seed oil. So, but more on flaxseed oil a little bit later. So foods are very important. What we eat affects what we think and affects what we do. And if we're here wanting to manifest and be creative and use the creative energy of our human genome and who we are, and then manifest, we need to give our body the building blocks. That's really the issue here. And then to raise the vibration, we need to eat these foods. Now, a higher vibrational food, just to put this in perspective, when you were at school, if you did study science, etc., we learned about electrons, we learned about electron spin. The tighter the electron spin, the higher the frequency of the food, the higher the life force, the life-giving force of the food. So we're wanting to eat foods that have got a very tight and very fast electron spin. And we want to do that because then we are going to have a very tight electron spin. Our cells will have a very tight electron spin, and loads of energy will be produced, and we will have loads of life force. Okay, life force is what propels us. Everything is about energy, and electrons give us energy. So do other things, which I'll talk to you about. But we're wanting to give ourselves as much life force, as much energy as we can. All right, so that we can manifest and move forward with strength and courage, and not actually be bothered by the perceived obstacles, which are, according to Deja Dubonnet, obstacles of the mind. So we want to be ready for those, because that is how we grow, remember, and then literally to take off in our rockets, our spaceships, our chariots, whatever you prefer to choose. So we've got to be armed with the building blocks. Very, 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 very important. All right, and I'm going to show you. I've got actually an array of products here just now to show you a really nice way to detox and to actually, yes, protect yourself from and ward off unknown, unwanted, unnecessary toxins that are floating out there. So these kind of foods that I'm talking about, as you well know, in the 365 Healthy by Choice toolbox, if you like, are all present in the nourishment section. So a little bit more on that as we go on. Let's identify toxins, and then I'm going to talk broadly about toxins, but as I said, you all know exactly what I am referring to specifically. So, toxins can come at us in the form of radiation, because radiation will actually damage the cell division, will actually damage the chromosomes, so we don't get then perfect cell divisions after that. We get imperfect cell divisions, imperfect cells, basically, which don't function properly. Of the 200 and something functions of a cell, they're not going to do that properly. And that also opens up the body to disease. The minute that chromosome is interfered with, we start getting those kind of things happening. And often people will do lots and lots of things. They will detox, they will eat really healthy, high vibrational foods and things, but they're missing a very important part, and that is to detox the old negative energy in the form of toxins out of the body. So we always start there because it is the starting point. It's no use giving the body foods that can't enter the cell. We've got to get the cell opening and the cell receptor working first. The metabolic shutdown syndrome over with, and then the body can then take up the food and the nourishment and use the building blocks properly. So very important to understand what a radiation is doing. It's actually damaging the actual physical content of the DNA. A free radical will also do that. For example, a trans fat, any oil is in the heated form, and that goes for fish oils. They are all boiled out of the muscle of the fish. Every single one is heated, like it or not. A heated oil is in the trans form, and that is cancer forming. So similarly then, the heated oils, the heated seed oils that are on the market, the margarines, etc. And these form a free radical in the body, which go about damaging, causing big damage. I'm going to speak about a free radical in a moment and show you exactly what it is. And so that kind of damage is going to damage our organs and, in fact, our DNA as well. And so one of the forms of a free radical is heated oil. You're also going to get genetically modified fragments, if you like, genetically modified foods. These are big toxins to the body and will also alter the genetic replication. And if I've just spoken to you now about the sacredness, the seat of our consciousness, the peace, the joy, the transformation, and the living our purpose, if this is all happening in our human genome, this needs to be protected at all costs. So let's just get this down. really, really needs to be protected. We really, really need to know what's happening. So any form of genetically modified food or fragment will start damaging our human genome from that minute onwards. Medication. Anything synthetic is a toxin to the body. Anything that's a toxin to a body is a stressor, and that is going to cause the body to respond. It's going to cause the immune system to be called. It's going to cause the normal bacteria, beneficial bacteria, fungi, and yeasts, the normal bacteria, fungi, and yeasts, to form opportunistic pathogens and go and see where this toxin is. So often where there are toxins, you're going to find opportunistic pathogens that we made ourselves. I'm not talking about genetically modified parasites and any genetically modified organisms. I'm talking about the ones that we naturally produce ourselves to actually go and help the immune system ward off toxins. So when you get a conglomeration of opportunistic pathogens in the form of bacteria, fungi, and yeasts, you know that that is a symptom. It is not the cause. The cause is a much deeper toxin that's embedded in the body or floating around in the body or the bloodstream or wherever. Okay, so very, very important when you start hearing about so died of, I don't know, some form of pneumonia or whatever. No, they didn't. The pneumonia was there to deal with a much deeper, more serious toxin. Do you see that? And it was a symptom. It was not the cause. So what do we have to do? It's actually so simple. We need to detoxify ourselves. We need to get as many toxins out as possible, as quick as possible. And we do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So antibiotics would be toxicity, would be toxins. Any form of, if you run out to the supermarket or any other shop, basically, and you go and ask for and panic, I need selenium, I need zinc, I need boron, I need all of this, I need vitamin C, and they hand you the ascorbic acid and they hand you synthetic zinc or synthetic selenium or synthetic multivitamin or whatever. What have you achieved really? You've just gone and bought something that's synthetic, that's toxic to the body. And there's a belief, which is the old paradigm, that you're going to be protected. No, you're not. We need to get into the mindset that we need to be putting things in our mouth and around us and on us that are non-toxic, non-synthetic, that are natural, that are made in the universal pharmacy, the universal natural world, if you like. I'm even talking about linen clothing. I'm even talking, on that level. If you wear plastic clothing, you're wearing synthetic clothing. And those little fibers go through your skin. We find them on our devices. So we need to, I guess what I'm really saying is get back to our authentic self, our true, authentic, organic selves. Okay. And in doing that, we're going to be able to manifest and transform and, reach the levels of consciousness that we ultimately want to reach. If we do, the levels of health that we want to do, the levels of emotional stability, neurological stability that we're aiming for, and live the life we choose, and move on from there. So I'm spending time now, highlighting many of these hidden toxins: asbestos, heavy metals, mercury. Go and get those silver fillings out. They're old. Many of them were put in when you were at school even. And every time you bite, a whole series of bacteria and fungi and stuff get released and go into the gut, and amoeba stays, and we start getting a deficiency in serotonin and dopamine and deficiencies in our vitamins and things, because these amoebas and these organisms are all eating them instead of us. Lots of chemicals, pesticides, environmental chemical toxins. Never before has our body had to contend with this avalanche of toxins. So I'm talking toxins so much here because it is all about toxins. And, our bodies have ways of helping us. So they instantly recognize the toxin, but not always. I'll get to that. And then, of course, the beneficial bacteria and fungi and yeasts will turn into the opportunistic pathogens and go and help. The immune system will be called upon. The T cells, the beta cells, the NKF cells, the white blood cells, the macrophages, etc., all get called in to deal with the toxins. That's when the body recognizes it. But what happens when it doesn't recognize it? So just to answer the question, first of all, when this is what happens when the body recognizes the stress. Sometimes in order to get the stress out, the body naturally produces what we call a Herxheimer reaction. So a Herxheimer reaction is a type of a flu, a type of a cold, a type of a shivering, a type of a fever, where a temperature goes up, where the body's natural defense mechanisms have pulled in and are helping the body get rid of the toxin. It is a symptom of a toxin again. And we can wonder why, season after season, winter after winter, how come, we're getting sick, more sick than we would normally be getting? Because I do believe the body does detox, especially with this avalanche of toxins. But somehow something sneaky saying to me, there may be a reason for the common cold. You see, because I'm also questioning whether certain things exist or not, actually exist or not. Because right now, well, we've got a situation where we can't find certain supposed organisms, and we've got a situation where we've got various ways to deal with it that are then dealing with something that we can't find. So these things that we can't find, maybe they are genetically modified fragments, materials, let's say, that are released from time to time and in areas. And that may really account for why we're getting outbreaks of influenza, flu-like symptoms, etc. So just understand that is always the response of the body. The organisms, the naturally occurring opportunistic pathogens, are a response of the body's natural tendency to go and help the body. They are not the cause. Okay, so we need to have clear nose and mouths, or nostrils, breathing mainly, of course. Because if you breathe through the nose, you then will stimulate nitrous oxide, which is so important in terms of the oxygen molecule and our health. So we want to be able to have clear noses to breathe properly and to breathe in properly, sufficiently, with diaphragm breathing, and to breathe out sufficiently. If we are not able to breathe out properly, what happens is we will then rebreathe, and we will rebreathe back the toxins that the body is busy expelling, doing its best, fighting to expel. We start breathing them back in again. So it's like you're excreting, but you're putting all the stuff back in again. That's what's happening. And, you're letting go of all the carbon dioxide, which is acidic, and you're breathing it back in again. So the body's becoming completely acidic in the limbs and so on. The stomach is becoming alkaline, and that's going to affect your digestion, definitely your ability to digest protein and some of the salads and things like that. So that's another whole story. But we start getting metabolic shutdown from a digestion point of view, a blood sugar, a blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, weight, hormone release. So you get a backwards syndrome happening. It's all because the breathing wasn't right. So when let's say we're having this Herxheimer reaction, we really do want to breathe. We want to be able to breathe properly so that oxygen is, it's the king and the queen of everything. And it's what the first thing we do and the last thing we do when we come onto this earth, basically. So we really need a lot. And if we are talking about genetic fragments, and let's talk about the very, very positive ones, where they're gazillions on the planet, showering down on a daily basis. The genetic fragment has been here all along, and they might be in that form, and they might actually be in this form. All right, so this will be our single RNA, and this will be our DNA, and it's about the sugar. There's a ribose sugar there, and there's a deoxyribose sugar there, and that's just the difference. It's the sugar molecule, but here, this one is a double strand. So we have actually around about 12, maybe 13, but definitely 12 that we know of DNA strands. We do, as humans, we are the highest beings on the planet that have this. We have the 12 strains. And even an animal, a dog or a cat or a bird, will recognize that we have a higher number of DNA strains than they do. So we do have the creator DNA within us, okay? And so what's filtering down and what has evolved us since time of inception till now and will into the future are these beneficial genetic fragments. Now, the beneficial genetic fragments have a coding, right, which is there to shift us. So certain things shift our DNA. One is these fragments. Okay. Some people, a lot of people have called the negative ones V's, right? So we have these positive fragments that we're breathing in on a daily basis. The frequency from the sun also energetically will shift and raise the vibration of our DNA. Our lifestyle, our creativity, if we do plaiting, we will stimulate the two strands. Do you see that? If we are in rooms that don't have four walls, four corners, and they have a dome, which is a scalar wave, that scalar wave will then enter and will reform us. It will give us health-giving properties. And that's what our ancestors knew. They knew about domed rooms. They knew about 5, 6, 7, 8-sided rooms. They knew the benefit of it. That's why also the places of worship across the world have generally got some sort of a dome on them, and different numbers of corners. So they've shown actually infrared photographs. If you walk out of a 4-cornered room with a flat ceiling, your energy field is close to your body. If you then go and spend half an hour or more in a scalar room, let's say a room with a dome with a different number of corners, not 4, and they take a photograph with these aura cameras, you will have quite an extended energy field. Okay, so these are things. Sounds will also shift the DNA. Creative things will shift the DNA. Good company will activate. So when we're close to each other and interacting, we are activating our DNA. When we are far apart, less likely. But high vibrational beings will have a much greater than 6-foot energy field. So high vibrational beings can vibrate and activate DNA in people over meters, whereas somebody with a lower vibration, might take a little bit. Their vibration will be a little bit close and smaller, so they won't be able to ignite lots of people. So this is the kind of thing when people say be careful of the company. There's a couple of things that happen. Your electrons can get drained. Okay, so basically, the electrons move from high places of high osmosis to low osmosis, and from high concentration to low concentration. So we want to make sure that there's an equal energy exchange with the company that we are keeping. So important as well. Okay, so I'm giving you quite a broad introduction and content to where we're going specifically. But here we have this, we breathe it in. Okay, we need to know that. And we've evolved since the time began. And we will continue to, irrespective. But we do need to take responsibility and look after ourselves. There's no question of that. And in fact, one sort of major natural event could literally take us from a DNA level on this vibration to right up at the top. I don't know, I can't give you an example, but it could. So those people that are there and ready for that kind of thing. The people who have got, the closer energy fields and things, less likely. But having said that, people can shift in a heartbeat. So we also don't want to judge, and we also don't know, what evolutionary pathway people are on. So this is what happens normally, and you'll normally get some proteins coming down. And I'm just going to do an example for you with the different colors, so you can get a kind of a feel for what I'm saying. And these colors are representing, by the way, proteins. All right. So you will have an adenine, let's say there, and then you'll have you could have a guanine there, and you can have a thymine there, and a cytosine there. These are nuclear proteins. So actually in the RNA, you're going to have a different thing happening here. You're going to have, if you don't mind me just adjusting this, let's just call this uracil, because a uracil is the protein that's in RNA. And that's scientific, but just to be absolutely accurate for the scientists in the audience. Okay, so we're dealing here with a sequence. It's messed my sequence up a little bit, because what happens is over here in the DNA, we're gonna have matching. So we're gonna have a red, a blue, a green, and because it's now the DNA sequence and the RNA is now transcripted and translated into DNA, we've now picked up a different one, and this one will be your cytosine. Right, so we've got the same names, the same proteins, the guanine and the thymine over here. Okay, and then what happens is, very simply, we're going to match that. So an A and a C will always go together, right? A red and then I'm always going to have a red over here. C and an A will always go together, you see? Where's this one here? Okay. And then I just want to see if you people can see. Okay, so that's perfect. Goody. Can you see? Can you see the colors? I think that might be a bit better. Right, so I'm doing my best to show you the colors. I'm just getting this right here. Sorry, I'm not getting this right. A always joins with the T, and the C and the G always join. So we've got the C here, sorry. G and C always join, and A and T always join. Sorry, I just did it the wrong way. Just for the purposes of showing you. So we're going to get the A there rather. A and T always join, G and C always join, okay? So we always get A to, where's the green? Yeah, T, and we always get C to G. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you here. So C is always going to go with a G. So this one here is going to be G. Okay, this is in the perfect world. Made it a little bit dark, isn't it? As I said to you, I was trying something new here. If I stand a bit forward, there we go. Okay, so this is the normal single-stranded RNA, which is transcripted and translated scientifically. These are scientific terms, using something that we call an mRNA. Okay, and that then binds with proteins, and we start replicating. We replicate our DNA sequence perfectly every time, provided those toxins that I mentioned. So it would be radiation, genetically modified fragments, foods, additives, antibiotics, synthetic medicines, heavy metals, asbestos, things like halogens, organophosphates, preservatives, chemicals, etc. aren't around, because when you get that happening, we start getting distortions in this, and also X-ray machines. So you can imagine there's gazillions of these cell divisions happening every second, and you walk through an X-ray machine and it does this. And we don't get a perfect replication cell by cell, because we're going to be looking at cells just now that have their nuclear material and they need to divide. And the nuclear material needs to be replicated. That is how we continue as a human species. And that is how we keep our human genome. But when we're having the natural genetic fragment that we're breathing in, that comes in, that might have a slightly different sequence next time, it's beneficial for us and it needs to happen. Okay, these are not V's. These are beneficial genetic fragments. Somebody got clever, or many people got clever, and they altered this. Okay, and then when this starts transcripting and translating and enters into our cell and into our DNA pattern, it then starts forming a pattern that wasn't there before, that is not nature-made. It's a GM-made pattern. And the diseases and the consequences of that are unknown. And what's also happened is that this new sequence that comes in is patented. The methodology to get it into a GMO fragment is patented. When this kind of an fragment is in our body, parts of us are then patentable, if that makes sense to you. Okay, this is all happening microscopically. Okay, these are tiny little things. Some of them are hair-like, they enter, and the others. So this is an interesting point as well, is because we have our nucleus here. We have our nucleus. Okay, and this is our cell. All right, with its cell membrane. And this what we're calling now, what we're calling our genetically modified fragment, is actually synthesized out of the existing, our actual human cell and cytoplasm and our cell material. So it's very easy for the body relatively easy for the body to recognize it as such, relatively easy to get in. But if we have, like we do, super bodies that are completely clean, the lungs, the liver, the gut, the kidneys, the skin, our detox organs are working to maximum capacity. We only eat maximum high density, high vibrational frequency foods, etc. We live in the forest with springs and everything. We are able to get this wrong one out, actually. And how do I know this? Because I've worked with hybridized and genetically modified plants. And I've used sound, and I've used planting, where generation after generation, you'll get a couple of seeds that will germinate. The next generation, you get more seeds that germinate. The next season, you get more seeds that germinate, because often a hybridized or a GMO seed, most definitely, won't replicate. So there might be one or two that are able to, and then we start recreating the plant genome. So we know that, given the chance, the body is strong enough, its innate potential to heal and revert back to its authentic original self is there, provided it's healthy, provided it has the strength and the charge to do this. Okay, if it doesn't, then no. That's why sometimes a booster needs to be brought in, just to make sure that pattern, genetic toxic pattern, is continuing to be repeated in that human. So the thing is that, as I said to you, from an outcome point of view, nobody knows the ultimate diseases and new diseases that may result from a tampered with genetically modified fragment piece. And these are the things I think everyone needs to meditate on and understand and really come to grips with the much bigger picture. Let's use the word cloning, and it's used often with plants and animals, right? So we have cloned chickens. I have a natural African bush chicken, all right? They're GMO free. They have never had genetically modified corn ever in their lives, all right? I know that because I feed them and I buy their food, and et cetera, et cetera. They will lay when the cosmic planetary alignment is correct, the weather is right, the season is right, and the time is right. They don't lay every single day. They will lay in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe if it's colder, a little bit longer periods. They will lay when the time is right. That is the time to eat eggs. We're wondering why people are getting insensitivities and intolerances of eggs and things, because we're eating them in a clueless manner. We've forgotten that we should be only really eating those foods when they are in season. Now, the next door neighbor has got what you call, I think they're called layer chickens, who have been cloned genetically to lay eggs from the day they reach maturity until the day they die. They've been genetically cloned to do that. It's been happening, right? Similarly with the plants. So let's take a corn, and what a typical farmer, and quite rightly so, is concerned with is yield. So they want to do whatever they can do to increase the yield, whether it's a tomato or a mealie, a corn. So they will then take the genetic material from something else. It could be fish. It could be sourced anywhere, because they've done scientific studies and they worked out that if they slip in a genetically modified fragment into that corn at age 3 weeks old, when the seedling's coming up, will start automatically producing pesticide. They cloned it. They slipped in a genetically modified fragment. Okay, the technical side of it's a bit different, obviously, because it gets grown and put back and all sorts of things. But the point of the matter is they introduced and slipped in a GMO fragment into the corn. Okay, and this has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. It's not new. Okay, so when we think of us as humans, we need to think deeply on this. Is really what I'm saying. And there's another thing to make sure that the genetically modified fragment stays inside whichever organism they're speaking about. And that is called nanotechnology, a nanotech, okay, a nanoparticle. So this genetic material is encapsulated in a nanoparticle, all right? Hydrogel, it's called. It's like a plastic. And then the body can't find it. The immune system doesn't look for it. It's not alerted. The opportunistic pathogens aren't excited to shift and go and find it. Can you see it's hidden, but it's there, interfering with the genetic replication, every single cell division. Even some organisms have been modified to be cell wall deficient. Some bacteria have been modified to be cell wall deficient. The human immunity can only really find natural toxins, doesn't really know about other things. We can stimulate it. We can use a product of mine, the replica RNA DNA, and that product will alert the immune system that there's something going on in the genetic space, and it will alert it to come there and expel actually the unwanted toxins. So all sorts of things happen in laboratories that, I suppose we really do need to be aware of completely. So when this DNA then unravels, just to take this picture a little bit further, because what will happen is you'll get that happening, right? All right, and this one's going to have all its ones hanging there, and this one's going to have all its ones hanging there, and then we get the mRNA and the transcript mRNA coming in here and along the top, and then this is where This is where the translation and the transcription and translation starts happening. So that's really what happens when we have a cell division, just very, very broadly. Okay, so that's where we're looking at things. So we're either going to end up as us as humans, all right, having been subjected to this massive array of toxins. So, you know, we're either going to be like that, or we're going to be like, you know, like that. So it's either going to work or it's not going to work. We're either going to be, I don't really want to use the words that, it's just to lower the vibration and everything, but we're either going to be human or not. Put it that way. But whatever the case is, if we've got the knowledge and we know how to detox our bodies, we can do this. All right, and we can expel anything that's not supposed to be in our bodies and return and remain in our authentic, organic, original, true self space with our DNA blueprint. Okay, so we can do this now, knowing what happens, knowing what's actually going on. Okay, so this will work for a modified genetic fragment and actually any toxin. It starts getting expelled. And that's why we can't afford to have a weak body. And stress will weaken our body, so will negative thoughts. All right. And I think really the message here is that any of these illusionary obstacles are there to strengthen us. So we need to get our learning and shift forward as fast as possible. Okay, so I think with this kind of thing, you know, in mind, and I've talked about the immune response. So it's either through our own opportunistic pathogens that get formed, or it's via the normal, via the bone marrow, which produces beta cells, T cells, NKF cells, white blood cells, macrophages, etc. Obviously the red and the blood cells and the platelets, etc. too. And it's our body's response to a stress on whatever level you're looking at. And in my years of striving to get to the point where I understand the root causes of disease, the root causes of depression, if you like, the root causes of anxiety. The bottom line is there's been some sort of toxic interference. It's chicken and egg, because if you are on a very high vibrational space, you will adapt to stresses much easier and much better, and you will dwell on them less than somebody who's in a more sickly, more poorly space with a very toxic body. Now, I'm really surprised at some of the bodies that come into my practice, and you know, the blood sugar levels, the blood pressure levels, the toxicity levels, and there's a lot of people to help out there. There's really, really a lot of people, and it's really beautiful when you see spontaneous healing in front of you, just by giving high vibrational foods and detoxifying and boosting the immune system and everything, because our bodies want to be. Automatically, they want to be authentic. The innate ability to heal is tremendous. And all you need to do is provide that opportunity for the body to do this. So therefore, you know, there's only really space for strength and courage. Okay. Now we're going to talk about, where do we start with our body and how we're going to do this. All right, this kind of information is gold, because if you get it and you understand it, you can share this with actually anyone, and anyone in the street can actually understand it, especially the way I'm going to speak about it. So one of the first things we have to do, the very, very first things we have to do, let's say your cell phone goes down, right? What's the first thing you have to do is you've got to make sure it's charged. Okay, same as the human body. We've got to charge it. Okay, so we heard of a figure of 6 out of 7 people don't have their battery charged. 6 out of 7, according to Professor Deja Dubonnet. That's a lot of people that have got adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue, adrenal shutdown, no electrons in their body. Let's put it that way. No electrons in their body, or very, very little. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get that battery charged. We've got to plug it in so that the charge occurs in the body, so for the body to function properly. Okay, so the product that we use is Ormus milk. Ormus Gold. It's a milk, right? It's an M-state gold, silver, copper, nickel. There's a whole lot of platinum, precious metal minerals in this. And those of you who followed all my trainings and my video clips, etc., will know this. Some of you, many of you, have actually taken the product. You know, Jane, where do you get your energy? Well, I get it because I'm charged. I take things that charge me. So there's a very intense amount of electron density in an Ormus Gold. So just before I carry on with this, there's just one thing I want to explain to you before we move onwards, is I want to explain to you what a cell looks like and what an antioxidant looks like and does, and what an oxidant does. So if we have our cell here like this, okay, a normal cell with electrons very tightly bound, spinning around the proton and the neutron, okay, in the middle. Very nice stable molecule, stable number of electrons in the outer valency level, all perfect. Along comes a trans fat, a scavenger. A scavenger is a free radical, and it does not have a stable outside lower level. And what it does is it takes from the human cell one of those electrons to balance it. It says, thanks very much, I'm stable now. I'm stronger than you. It's easier for me to pull the electron from you than for you to hold on to it. Okay, so this is what we call as a free radical. Free radical. Okay? But now we've got a nice friend. We've got what we call an antioxidant, an antioxidant. And an antioxidant, let's take typical vitamin C. It's got a whole load to share, and they're very freely bound. And this antioxidant says, no, leave the human cell alone. We will give you, or wherever it's got to go, we will give you gladly. We will sprinkle over you. We will shower you with free electrons. That's what an antioxidant does. Okay, it has free electrons to quickly go and mop up the free radicals that will then protect the heart, protect the DNA, etc., protect the existing tissue of the body. So that's why we rush out and we buy vitamin C. But hopefully we're not buying ascorbic acid. I've made it. It's synthetic. But it causes kidney problems. Hopefully we're buying a product like a Phytoc C or something that's got the naturally occurring vitamin C molecule with all the other sub and hidden molecules around it. But this is what happens. So the antioxidant will then neutralize the free radical. But now we get another molecule called an oxidant. Okay, so I think the teachers in the group here probably, the hair on the back of their neck is probably rising the way I'm drawing at the moment. But anyway, so we've got an oxidant that comes along. And this is even more powerful than a free radical. And what the oxidant is automatically unstable, all right? And it just basically pulls or anything that's wrong, that's out of control, that's from that free radical, and renders the free radical useless, ready to be expelled out of the body. So can you see the two different ways of detoxifying? One way you're using the antioxidant that's going to neutralize the free radical, okay? The other way is to use an oxidant that's going to pull the free electrons out, rendering the free radical actually useless and ready for elimination from the body. And this is when we talk about cell oxygen, all right? The cell vitality, cell oxygen molecule will do this. Okay, so I think that's important. So it is all about these little negatively charged electrons. Everything's about the electrons and the life force that results out of having very tightly spun electrons in our outer fields of our cells, our tissues, our organs, and our systems. So here we have, back now to this this way to clean ourselves. And where do we start? And there are people that are watching that have come out of very sick situations where the body was compromised and not able to deal with toxins, whatever they might be, okay? And they heal themselves. So this is an important thing as well. You heal yourself. People like me and other natural practitioners here, if you like, are catalysts. We are the educators. We raise your awareness. So people can't come and say to me, Jane, will you fix me? Will you heal me? No, I won't. You will heal yourself. Hippocrates said again, physician, heal thyself. Okay, so that's the end of it. We explain, we raise awareness, and we work with knowledge. All right, so we got to charge this body, getting back to this point here. Number one, we plug the cell phone in, we give it charge, we raise the charge of the battery, all right? Then we're in operating mode. We can do that. Right, and then number two, we're looking at the vitality of the cell. Cell vitality. Okay. And the cell vitality is very critical because what we need here is we need to have the right charge around the cell membrane. So let me draw our little cell again. Okay, let me put it there. And this is the membrane of the cell. And there's a certain charge that this cell, it's negative on the outside. Okay, needs to be about 90 millivolts. It's tiny. It's a tiny little charge. Anything below 70 or above 120, the body is sick. Okay, there'll be metabolic shutdown. So what normally happens is you will get going into the cell oxygen and food. And you'll get coming out of the cell waste and water. Okay? Normally. Normal, healthy cell like us. Okay, optimally this happens. All the oxygen inside the cell, all the oxygen, there's hydrogens as well, but they will bind with electrons and they will form what we call ATP, which equals energy, which equals vitality. Okay, which equals, I don't think I can write life force in black. Let me give one and let's write green. That equals life force. The chi, our vibration. Now, if this is not happening, we are in big trouble. So how are we going to get this sorted out? All right, we're going to use a cell vitality oxymineral, an oxygen molecule. And according to our diagram here, it's going to work as an oxidant. And it's going to go and grab all the electrons that it can find until we reach a point that the cell membrane potential has reached minus 90. And at that point, we're going to get a free in and out of the oxygen and the food going in and the water and the waste coming out, because inside the cell are going to be all these oxidant reactions and outside the cell. Remember, the cell is the foundation of any tissue and any organ and any system. So we have to work at the cellular level. This is what houses our DNA, our RNA and our DNA, and this is where all of this is happening. So if we've got muck in here, the chances of distortion happening are absolutely huge. You see, there's huge opportunities for distortion to happen. So we are after life force, we're after vibration, we're after high electron spin, and this will ultimately translate into consciousness, just to say, all right? On a much, 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 much higher level. Oh, there's another little thing that happens here as well, that needs to happen and work properly, is the insulin molecule. And when we're starting to head towards metabolic shutdown, the insulin lock, the key goes into the lock, and it also doesn't allow the larger glucose molecules and the energy to get into the cell. When we start cleaning out, when we start charging the body and cleaning out the body, is when then the insulin unlocks and the body blood sugar levels come into balance and everything else as well. So remember, we're needing to breathe properly. We are needing to breathe, because breathing would automatically alkalinize the body and automatically bring the body into a space. But we're not breathing enough deeply. We don't have, most of us for the last couple of months have not had open free airways, and we breathe back the carbon dioxide. When you have something over your face, you will breathe less as well automatically, and you will end up in a situation where you have a hypoxic state. Hypoxia. Okay, that is dreadful, disastrous. You're heading for metabolic shutdown and everything else, because these, let's call them these engineered organisms, love and grow in places where there's low oxygen. You see, so even a toxin will pull and create a need for oxygen within your body. So everything should be geared towards raising the charge of the body and bringing in sufficient amounts of oxygen. So when we bring in a mineral, it's a salt. If you taste it, it's basically salt. You taste it, it tastes exactly like salt. Okay. For example, a little droplet like this, or even a cell oxygen capsule. There's a liquid and there's capsule. When you taste this, it's absolutely salt. So we're using completely harmless, natural, nature-made products to work with the body. Okay, this almost gold has been around for 5,000-10,000 years, ages. The wise sages consumed almost gold across the planet to bring in consciousness. You know, from a detoxification point of view, we speak to any yogi. Yoga is not about the posture, it's about the breathing. It's about bringing oxygen in. And when you got the oxygen in, you can stretch more, just to say. Not that I'm an expert. But, you know, these are critical points to understand, to get the homeostasis right and to get the body in a position to respond to any toxin that's going to come. So we need these two things happening. We need to be detoxifying properly, and we need to have the charge coming in, the spin. And then what happens is the circulation starts balancing instead of all the red blood cells stuck together. So, for example, you know, when the red cells are all sticky, not enough oxygen, too much toxins, you got the parasites, you got everything in the blood system. Instead of looking like that, we then move to a situation where we've got beautiful red blood cells gliding, ready to take oxygen and nutrients to the cells, ready to also help detoxify the body, take the waste out, etc. This has to happen. So when we look at the blood under the microscope, it gives us a great indication of what's happening on a cellular level. You know, you'll also see blood cell free radical damage, and then you know also the amount of free radical damage. Free radical damage, we're all experts now, okay? Those hungry scavenger things that take the electrons from our normal body cells. So, you know, this is where we're aiming at. This is what we're aiming to do, and this just makes absolutely perfect sense. So, just to move on a little bit, we've got number 3 here, which is let's call them beneficial microbes. And what we're talking about here are bacteria, fungus, and yeasts. We are talking about beneficial bacteria, funguses, and yeasts. Those are the ones, those are our friends that will form into the opportunistic pathogens to go and help fight the toxin, help the body fight it. Okay, so very, very important, the beneficial ones. And the one we use is the, I'm writing in green here, the product, microbiome reset. Now, there's about 80 to 120 live strains with also live enzymes, by the way. The body can choose. We have a microbial blueprint. The body can then choose out of this assortment of different strains what it needs, when it needs, and how it's going to use these microbes around the body. Remember that our body is, we are 90% microbial, and our genes are 99% microbial. 99%. There's only 1% that looks at the color of our eyes, how tall we are, etc., etc. So if we don't have these guys in us for all sorts of reasons, but including the response to immunity and immune response to toxins, we don't have them. So how are we going to even form opportunistic pathogens in the first place? Absolutely critical. We have another mineral that we use, because we've already talked about the oxygen mineral. We have another one here, which is iodine. So let me just show you the microbe, right? There's 120 basically. And it all comes with a certificate of analysis, so you know that you have the right things in there. Now we're talking about iodine, which is a white powder, this particular one, the one that I use. And why do we use iodine? This is called iodine, right? Because iodine kills unwanted toxic forms of pathogens instantly. On impact, it kills them. So this is something we would want to bring into our schedule, if you like, of things we're going to be using to detox. So in my schedule, definitely, I'm starting off in the morning with the almost gold. I'm then making up another mixture of water with microbiome reset and lemon juice in it. I'm putting things in like iodine into that water. There's other products that you could put into the water like MSM, which is sulfur. And I'm just getting responses. I wanted to just see if there were people that couldn't hear or see or something. And you can put zeolite. So the products I'm speaking about, you know, MSM, it's about the sulfur. Sulfur is important to detox. Many bodies don't have enough sulfur. Some people are sensitive. Let's just talk about that quickly. They can be sensitive to iodine and MSM and sulfur. They can be sensitive to chlorella even. They're not sensitive. The body's detoxifying that quickly. They need less. Their tolerance is less. Some people's tolerance for cell oxygen vitality, the drops or the capsules, is lower than others. Some people need more to bring the detoxification process on. Some people need a very little bit. And the nose starts running and everything starts happening very quickly. All right, so if you are and feel you're sensitive, you break open the capsule, you sprinkle a couple of grains, you close the capsule, and you use it again tomorrow when you sprinkle a couple of grains. You see? So you just then start resensitizing your body. Every single hormonal cell receptor needs iodine. We have to have it. The thyroid needs it. So we can't do without iodine. Every single cell needs sulfur to detox, to get the waste out. So we have to have it. What people are generally allergic to, whatever we want to call it, is the synthetic sulfur. Sodium lauryl sulfate, the sulfides, those are the kind of things. This is organic. MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane. It's a natural organic sulfur. Okay. I'm going to get to all your questions. Write them all down so we don't forget. I'm going to get to every single one of them. I'm going to sit down and go through them all with you. Okay, so iodine is a very important aspect because when we're wanting to detox, and let's say we're having a really heavy Herxheimer reaction, we have a huge toxin. We want to bring the best in here that's going to detoxify us. All right? So this is what we're aiming to do. So the next step after we've done all of this and we've had all of this, we probably begin. This is in the morning. We're going to have almost. We're going to have microbiome reset and lemon juice and iodine and maybe even zeolite, paramagnetic rock dust. Why would we want that in? Because it will magnetize out the toxins. It holds onto the uric acid when it's secreted into the gastrointestinal tract. Doesn't let it get reabsorbed out. Suddenly the gout and all of that kind of thing reduce. So we need now a magnetic substance to automatically detoxify us. And when I'm speaking about these products, this is over and above from an electroceutical point of view, what our quantum, skio, educta, and QUEX can do. It's over and above that. That's working and they're potentiating each other, put it that way. In terms of initial assessment and getting a baseline and removing guesswork, we definitely want to do an assessment. We definitely want a quantum assessment. That is the new medicine. Quantum medicine is the new medicine. It does way more than any human brain can do. All right, it's like going to an accountant that's using the latest software packages. It can do more than any human brain on its own can do. You go to a quantum therapist. A quantum device can do way more than any human brain can do. Removes the guesswork. It gives you a validated, verified tracking of the values and shows you the risk factor gaps. What more could we want? And it, through its own ability, can actually realign you with electroceuticals. Okay, so we're potentiating everything that we do with that here as well. So all of these things now are building up towards cleansing the body and boosting the immune system. Two major aspects of health, ultimately. So now we want to bring in an antioxidant, okay? Which you all know what the antioxidant is doing. Lots of free electrons to give away. So I'm just going to make this close here. We're going to call this the antioxidants. And you wouldn't take an oxidant and an antioxidant at the same time because they're going to neutralize each other out. So very cleverly, we have a format where the oxidant is at a different time of the day to the oxidants. And by the way, something like a flax seed oil also contains humongous amounts of antioxidants. It will thin the blood, it will scavenge, it will clean for you. So all these things scavenge. The microbiome reset scavenges, the iodine scavengers, the antioxidant scavenge, the cell vitality scavengers, the almost gold, they're all scavenging in different ways. All right. So we need to eat our food now with this in mind as well. So now we're gonna be having all sorts of antioxidants in the form of food and smoothies and the things that we want to eat for breakfast and everything. And we're going to definitely have a load of flaxseed oil. Now, why flaxseed oil? It is the oil that has the tightest, fastest spin electrons of all the oils. Okay? Gives us the most life force. It gives us the most electrons. Okay, so we want to consume this. Of course we do. But there's a much bigger reason that we want to do this. And this reason has got to do with an electrical potential in the cell membrane to encourage the oxygen and the food to come through and the waste to leave, but mainly to encourage it through. So you need an electromagnetic potential, which is created by the oil, which is the cell membrane has got a double lipid layer. So when you have the oil, you've improved the cell vitality even more. So no detox program should actually be without flaxseed oil. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we want to not leave any stone uncovered. So flaxseed oil comes in as an antioxidant, and it also comes in as a product on its own as well. Let me just write it. Where's the green? Flaxseed. An antioxidant would be like a phyto C or a stress defense shield. All right, I'll come to that now. So the importance of the flaxseed, I'm even giving it a place on its own here. Two things. It works as an antioxidant. Secondly, it helps set the membrane potential. The potential across the cell membrane. Critical. Okay. This will not happen with the heated fish oil. Sorry, it's not going to happen with the heated vegetable oil. It's definitely not going to happen with the heated any other animal kind of oil. Okay. It needs to be cold pressed. It's not going to happen really with the coconut oil. Okay. We need the flaxseed oil to do this. Very, 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 very important. Flaxseed oil. So now we're eating, you see, because we've done all our detox and cleansing, and now we're probably eating, having breakfast here. We want to include a phytonutrient. So what we have here is Phyto C. It's got 12 super herbs, superfoods, with antioxidants across the color of the rainbow, from raw cacao, which is brown, to baobab, which is cream, to turmeric, which is golden, to acai berry, which is plum purple, to green tea extract, to the triphala, amlas, etc., those fruits, which, by the way, have enzymes in them as well. And this product has got vitamin C, plus all the other vitamins, plus the selenium, plus the zinc, plus the boron that you could want in any molecular shape, form that the body could want ever. So the body can choose what it wants, when it wants, and in which molecular format it wants the electrons. Do you see that? So we're giving the body the best chance ever. The Phyto C, in one bottle, you have 12 different ones. So you haven't just gone and bought one ascorbic acid, synthetic ascorbic acid. You've got a food state nutrient. Food state as nature intended, with the DNA intact and with the intelligence of the plant intact, because we are intelligent and so is nature. So when we give our body an intelligent food, the innate potential of the body to heal kicks in. And you sit back and you watch the magic. You watch that body heal. You watch those symptoms disappear in 24 hours. You watch that body, you help that body to detox, to sweat out the toxin, and to return to homeostasis. So we would be doing this with somebody that was really sick. We will be definitely giving them Ormus. We will be definitely giving them microbiome reset, bringing in the beneficials. We would be definitely giving them a form of iodine. We would definitely be giving them antioxidants. We would definitely be giving them an oxidant. We would definitely be giving them the oil. Can you see these complete you can even say scientific thought that's gone through into this, because it is the interplay, the potentiation of these products that creates a result within 24 hours, sometimes less even. I had a guy who came here in very dark glasses the one day, and he listened to what I had to say. The room was full. And he came to me afterwards and he said to me, my blood sugar is stuck at 19. And it's been stuck. I don't know what to do. It's absolutely stuck. So I said, okay, fine. I gave him some of these products. He came back 12 hours later because he brought someone else for me to see. His blood sugar got down to 9 in 12 hours. 19 to 9 in 12 hours by giving the right electron spin stuff. Incredible. And then it went on to normalize at 7. So that next morning when he came, the glasses were clearer. They weren't as dark. And his eyesight started adjusting. You see, so the miracles happen in front of you just by understanding the human body and understanding that nature should not be underestimated, should not be second-guessed. Our body should not be second-guessed. Who are we to do that? Who are we to decide in the laboratory that these 12 probiotics are the ones you need to take, and you need to take them forever? And make sure that they stayed in the cold chain and that it hasn't been broken, and make sure that you consume them half an hour before your meal. Give them time to come out of the dormant phase and to start multiplying a little bit so that they can protect you. We consume the real thing in nature's form, not in the fridge, readily available any time of the day you want. However many you want. 2020 is about unraveling deception, getting to the truth, getting to the authenticity of everything. All right, and where there isn't authenticity, it's going to be shown up. And that's where I said right in the beginning, it's about us shifting gear into a much higher operational space, if you like. Our operating system needs to shift. We need to give it permission to shift. And it's going to do that as our DNA shifts. So there's one toxin I haven't really spoken about, and that's artificial intelligence. And that is a real big toxin, and that does close our operating system down, by the way. So we've got to detox that too, and in a very important way too. I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so now we've already got six things on our list. And guess what? There's one more. Okay, so hang in there. We're now talking about our super herbs that are designed to help us from the universe's pharmacy to remove pathogenic, toxic bacteria, fungi, yeasts, and toxins out of the body. They're geared to do that. And the product we have is called Para-Immune Defense. All right, and there's about 8 products in here, the top herbs in the world that are geared towards detoxification. When you add this to this array of products, you stop symptoms like literally within 4 hours. So typically we would take 2 teaspoons of almost golden water. We would take 2 teaspoons of microbiome reset in water. We would take 1 iodine capsule. Start with sprinkles if you're worried. We would take probably 1 or 2 capsules of Phytoc or Stress Defense Shield. Stress Defense Shield, just by the way, and I'll come back to that, is available in capsule form and in beautiful smoothie powder. Over 30 nutrients. The Phytoc is in the Stress Defense Shield plus more. So it's got 3 algae, spirulina, chlorella, and blue-green. Now, blue-green is essential for our immune system. Chlorella, I already told you, it builds RNA. Plus it detoxifies us. Spirulina does everything too, even got essential oils in it. We've got 6 medicinal mushrooms in here. Essential for our immunity as well. We've got about 7 or 8 adaptogenic herbs. Many of them are in the Phytoc, in the para-immune defense, but it's got more in it as well. So here is a superfood, a super wonder food that you just take daily in capsule or powder form. So we want to bring these in, all right? The antioxidants. We want to bring the flax seed oil, probably a tablespoon in the morning, a tablespoon at lunchtime. Now we want to bring the para-immune defense. And we probably want to have about 4 capsules at 10 o'clock and another 4 at about 1 o'clock. You can actually take 8 in one go if you want to as well, if the symptoms are really bad. Okay, so that then finishes that thing. So it's 4 at tea time. Give it a space, a break from the iodine. 10 o'clock we'll have para-immune defense. Lunchtime we'll also have para-immune defense. Lunchtime we'll also have microbiome reset. We'll also have flaxseed oil. All right, and then we're going to move on more to, like, let's say the evening, where we're going to bring in our big oxidant, the oxygen. And then we're going to give that in frequencies and dosages according to the threshold of the human body. And each body is different. So we have to gauge and see. Now, if there's huge symptoms, you want to take 4 drops of the liquid. You want to take 1 capsule every 4 hours of the powdered oxygen. You want to hit it hard. The body's ready for it. It just wants to get better. If you think of the fact that 18 drops of this, the one dosage of 18 drops will kill malaria. Kill it. And I'm saying to you 4 drops every hour for about 4 times. You must know we're gonna get the toxin out very quickly. Okay, all naturally. These little molecules only product, the salt product only goes for the wrongly charged matter in the body. Only it leaves the normal cells alone. Okay, something like ozone doesn't do that. Ozone goes across the board, all the cells. You don't have any control. Also, the millivolts of ozone are about 2 point something volts. The charge of this cell is 0.95 millivolts, exactly the charge of the outside of the cell membrane. It's literally compatible with humans. So, you know, that's what I wanted to share with you, that we have an absolute natural solution here on a very high level. We're not talking about steaming with eucalyptus oil. We're not talking about burning something in a diffuser. You know what I mean? We're talking about the tools that we need to maintain the homeostasis in the body. Tried and trusted, thousands of people have reset. When we talk about a reset, this is what we're talking about. And there's just 3 other products that you might want to know about too. This is the replica RNA DNA. And this replica RNA DNA has all the building block proteins to build our genetic, the nucleoproteins to build our genetic human genome. Because you must understand, if we're not getting them in the diet, how's the body going to find them? So it's all very well unraveling it with the almost and letting it ravel up again and cleaning, but we do need building blocks. That's where the stress defense shield starts coming. Now the nourishment, because we now can get the nourishment into the cell. So we start looking at that, and we start looking at the RNA DNA as well. That will start also then ensuring that we're rebuilding our cells. It will also maintain the strength and the ability of the body to not succumb to a wrongly charged GM fragment. We need to have the building blocks, and all these nucleoproteins are available. That product, by the way, is a bacterial cell wall fragment itself. It's completely natural. So it's completely vegan, put it that way as well, which is great. Okay. And then there's 2 more. Now, if you have someone with a really compromised lungs, okay, and they're not able to expel the toxins at the rate they should, and they're full of phlegm, and they're obviously co-hosting a whole lot of junk of genetically engineered organisms in here as well. First of all, make sure that the other detox organs are clean. The liver, the gut, the kidney, and the skin. Brush the skin. Make sure the toxins can get out as quickly as possible. All right, that's the first thing. Then you might want to have a look at my Respira lung cleanse, because this has got things in it that actually will stimulate oxygen, but also help clean the lungs. And, you know, things like Irish moss and cordyceps, definitely, bee pollen, definitely. Triphala, it's got a bit of the Phytoc in it. It's got a bit of the para-immune defense in it as well, but obviously lower concentration. So you might want to preventatively use that. If they're full-blown symptoms, you just treat. You bring in the oxidants and you treat. You can do the repairing stuff afterwards. Also, I have a super cell oxygen, and this product is beautiful. This product will activate oxygen in the body. So it's got Siberian ginseng, it's got Gotcha Cola, Bacopa, it's got spirulina, cordyceps, I think I said the bee pollen already, turmeric, And these products will assist the body in forming oxygen. So it's herbal. It's not going to be taken in the oxidant phase. It's going to be taken in the antioxidant phase. So that's the bundle in terms of the products that I put forward that I think are part of any practitioner's toolkit, really. Yes, they can be given alongside synthetic medicines. Yes, they can. There's no interaction at all. In fact, if you're going to use a microbiome reset with an antibiotic, rather keep it at separate times of the dosage is separate, because an antibiotic will annihilate everything. It doesn't choose. It's not selective. Whereas this product is selective. It will only scavenge the wrongly charged toxins and heavy metals and things like that. Zeolite will only target and magnetize out the toxins. So more than that, I think, that's what I wanted to tell you in terms of, I suppose, the evolution of the human species, because I've delivered many talks before speaking about and asking the question, are we the ancestors of an endangered species? How are we going to change the legacy that we leave our children and our children's children? From my point of view, I would like to eventually leave the planet with a much more evolved DNA than I came with, a much higher consciousness than I came with. So I would like to use the experience that I'm having here to assist me to get to that point. And obviously, by doing my purpose and reaching out and helping humanity, those are transforming. So there's only really 2 words left, I think, for one to consider. And I'm going to write it here, but it relates to over there. So the one is transformation. I think you can all read that. Transformation. And then the other word is just an unfortunate word, but the other word is transhumanism. I know absolutely which one I want, and that's that one. Okay, and that is an absolute definite. There is no question about it. Not knowing what I know, and just knowing that actually each person has their own responsibility to choose themselves. So the objective of today was to explain to you genetically the coding, explain to you, what's very terribly important in terms of how we reset the human organism, all right, and then reset that, give the human genome the best possible opportunity. I could even say the most benevolent opportunity to restore, reset, and actually realign and get further, and then to explain to you the difference between an oxidant and an antioxidant. So I hope that that's been useful. I'm going to sit down now and bring my computer a little bit closer so that I can read all your questions, and then fire ahead. And if anybody actually wants to come in and speak, what you're going to need to do is just raise your hand, and you can then you can come in and speak as well. And any questions, and the more challenging the better, because that's actually how we learn, isn't it? Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. Oh, so we've got people around the world, which is always very, very exciting because, unity is the most important thing, and sharing and being as socially interactive as possible. Obviously, this doesn't replace it, but wow, someone like Wendy, I mean, I couldn't get closer to her right now. She's on the other end of the world to me. So it's so great to have her here and have all of you in Italy and all the people from, some of you I can't even say, but I know a lot of you from really, really around the world. So it's just awesome, awesome, awesomeness. And I just want to see here as well, 46 people registered for this. Okay. Let me see. There's, goody. You know what? I just hope you could see it properly. But for me to teach, I like the flipboard. And there's everybody there. Right, I'm just looking for the first question. I see Sanjay here. So there we go. So Sanjay, I think I answered your question. You can't take vitamin C with which is an antioxidant with an oxidant. They're going to neutralize each other out, and you're going to end up not having done anything to that body. The free radicals will be there, and the human cells will be getting damaged. Okay, so that's why you need a break of about 2 hours between an oxidant and an antioxidant, always. There's only one reason why a plan like this doesn't work, and that's because not one reason, but a main reason people not responding as quickly as I'd like them to is because they're taking an antioxidant. And I just want to mention to you that tea and coffee are also very strong and powerful antioxidants, believe it or not. Orange juice. So, I mean, I might as well just offer this as well. If per chance somebody does take too much oxygen, either the cell oxygen or in the liquid form, you just reach for the bottle of vitamin C and take a couple, and it literally neutralizes out. And that might happen if the detox is too quick for your own threshold of oxygen. Oxygen it's harmless, all right, but it's merciless. It will clean. It's just one of the biggest creepy crawly cleaners that we can get. Oh, so right. So now we got the question here. Thanks, Ntombi, about what happens if you drink alcohol. So basically, the drops just neutralize the alcohol out. And if it's a heavy drinker, you will find that they will actually, alcohol will lose its appeal a little bit because it's not giving them what they normally expecting it to do. That's quite magic too, especially when you're wanting people to heal, you know. The difference between ozone and the oxygen cell drops. Okay, so let's just go back there again, which is good to recap. So the difference between the two, ozone is basically you get ozone, which is O3, right? 3 oxygen molecules that are formed out of there and pumped through generally into an oxygen tub or pumped into your blood and put back into you, etc., etc. The charge of an ozone molecule is over 2 volts. 2 volts. And it goes for every single cell. That's why you should never ozone for more than, well, if you do ozone even, 30 minutes is an absolute threshold. So all the cells get damaged by ozone, right? And you can read the research on this. Whereas a cell vitality oxymineral drop only, first of all, its charge is 0.95 of a millivolts. Okay, it's tiny. And it will only go for the wrongly charged matter in the body. Only. That's correct. So I've just answered your answer there. Yes, it will only go for the wrongly charged matter in the body. So the iodine in the salt, iodized salt, I mean, it's not really bad because we all do need iodine. The question there is about the iodine in the salt. We all do need iodine. So I don't think that's a very big problem. But there again, they are iodizing white salt. So I would rather use a salt that's natural, that hasn't had any processing done to it, hasn't had any free-flowing agents added to it either. So I would use a Himalayan salt or a Kalahari salt or one of those salts. So thanks, Ilse. Example of oxidants. What? Oxidants. Okay, so yeah, the oxidants are the is basically oxygen. Right, it has that property. It's a more powerful scavenger than a free radical, so it annihilates the free radical. So we've got like warfare going on in the body, but it's all natural and how it's meant to be. If we breathe properly and we did yoga several times a day, we would reach levels of alkalinity that we're looking for and detoxification that we're looking for. All right, so there's the oxidants and the antioxidants. I'm just going to let someone in here. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. So, Ingrid, I'm letting you in. You're going to go through a process of verifying the camera and the sound. Just follow the process, and then I'll see when you come in. Thank you. All right, and then Vanessa, okay, fine. How does it go for the wrongly charged cell? It's because of the charge of the cell. Okay, so oxygen only scavengers. So our normal cells are normal. It's going to leave our normal cells alone. There's nothing to do in normal tissue. But any degenerative tissue, any toxin, any unstable cell in our body is going to be removed by the oxygen from the either cell oxygen or the cell vitality. Okay. So yes, Hemant, I actually do. I do have a product brochure for all the practitioners, and I have put it on your group before. And so, yeah, you're welcome to, I can email it to you, any of the practitioners. So maybe at this point, it's an opportunity, and I hadn't planned it, but we have a group of about 20 practitioners that are 365 trained, and trained in the product and also trained in our quantum devices. We have 2 quantum devices. We have a Q450 and we have the QUEX Eductor or Skio. So the what I call the bigger quantum devices that work in the virtual space are obtained from the Invent in Budapest, and the Q450 devices I've researched and everything and are available through me, which is a phenomenal starting point. I think many of you who you don't even have to be a practitioner. As long as you've got an understanding of anatomy and physiology, I can train you. And I call it business in a box on the website, actually. And basically, we're removing the guesswork. We're doing an assessment as a guide. We're not diagnosing off it. We're not treating off it, okay? And we're then able to advise a client on potential and possible risk factors that need to be closed. And the most amazing thing is when we follow this kind of a plan, and the client comes back after 3 weeks or a month, we see improvements. And I've been using my little device for over 8 years. A doctor sold it to me. The doctor said to me, Jane, this is going to change your practice forever. And boy, were those true words. That's exactly what happened. It gave me this insight that I never knew was possible. That's what you get through quantum medicine, quantum frequencies. And then I already had my, mostly my toolkit. I hadn't really gone into the detoxification products. But I suddenly saw how my toolkit slotted into human risk factors. And it was just voila, it was just a case of everything's fallen together here. And as I said, you know, the beaming results, the fabulous testimonials, the referral base that I have, it's just huge. And I really do want to spread that and get many people sharing in this. So even someone like Sanjay, you know, you can order the device from me, it can get shipped to you in Zimbabwe, and you get trained. It's all in a package, and you literally can start earning. It's a business in a box. You earn on the consultation and you earn on the product margin. And we're doing things that are natural, that are helping people. Oh, so thanks, Ingrid. That's great. And I'm so pleased because I thought about it and I never talked about it. So emotions, our neurological state, whether we're on our spiritual path or not, whether we're living our purpose or not, all affect the DNA. And there's researchers that have researched this as well. So when we're stressed, those DNA, the chromosome is in a form of a cross, okay? And it's loosely formed, right? Double helix. The double helixes are in the chromosome, right? So when we stress, they constrict. And they basically close down. The button to operate is almost in the off position. They're insensitive. So you start getting diseases. So stress is a massive, massive contributor to damage of the human genome and the proper cell replication. And it can cause problems. It can cause problems in the reproduction, the replication, most definitely. That's absolutely for sure. There's research on that. So anxiety from a neurological point of view, I'm going to throw that in there as well. And those people that are in the wrong job and not doing their purpose and you know, wafting around and stuff, that's going to also, it causes an internal stress anyway, a tug of war almost. I should be there, but I'm here. I should be there, but I'm here. It's going to affect your DNA as well. The DNA is phenomenal. It's a crystalline structure. It's in the golden mean form in any event, okay? And it refracts light even. It is our antenna. It's an antenna to consciousness. We have to guard it. We have to safeguard it, safeguard our blueprint with our life. With our life, I could say that. We do. And you know, the thing is that when these particles are in us, and then they will be in our offspring and their offspring. Like we see, for example, diabetes. Now, we don't know what caused diabetes in the first place. Okay, well, we do know. I mean, it's obviously dietary and all the rest of it, but it could also be organism related. I don't know, you never know these days. Okay. And then you will see the granny got diabetes at 60. The mother got diabetes at 40. The grandchild got diabetes at 30. The great-grandchild got diabetes at 25. So it actually gets worse. It doesn't get better. So really, we can't be the ancestors of an endangered species. I think that's just a sellout. Quite frankly, we are all powerful. We are have the ability to create our future. And the people that have been coming with us for the months, we need to manifest that. We need to do the meditations and use the wonderful, powerful forces that are at play right now. Remember, as low as it gets, as high as it gets. So you choose. You choose which one. Always. You want to walk the middle path, because the middle path is not emotionally unstable, but as high as the opportunities are, as low as they're going to be. So we want to make sure that we are maximum health. You know, optimum is yesterday, it's last year, it's 2020. Maximum health is where we're aiming for on every single level. And I think I've given you huge amounts of, I think your baskets must be overflowing with the information that you got. Maybe it was also a lot, but you know, I've got a cross section of people sitting here, from, you know, specialist doctors to professional principals of schools to business men and women to nutritionists, dietitians, people like that. So I'm catering to everybody, but you know what? We all get there because I'm talking common sense. I'm talking simple common sense at the end of the day. And based on my experience, based on the testimonies, the feedback from the clients. So, just getting back to that, the comment on emotions. And so if you want your emotions to really go out of kilter, eat white potato, white rice, lots of wheat, lots of processed foods, lots of fried foods, eat poorly, sit in the wrong job, sit all day. And, that's going to affect your emotions. It's going to obviously affect your human genome as well. So we don't have to worry about med beds. We don't have to worry about all of that. So those things are all flat out decoys. We don't have to worry about the latest sheep dip that's on the market that everybody's raving about. Please don't go there. You're remaining trapped in the third dimensional space by doing that. And it's also the decoy. All right. Don't get trapped in the numerous video clips. Some of them are planted. They come across as authentic as anything, and the information is often authentic, true, but you get trapped in it. So we don't want to be, like I just think, we don't want to be using those kind of words. We don't want to be actually pressing the button and sending it, because every time you press that button and you send it, you're manifesting, you see, and you're lowering your own vibration. So, I've saved a lot of this for today because I just felt that the timing was more right now and that we would be more receptive to shift through this. I mean, I saw through this right from the beginning because, the human genome has been one of my favorite topics from forever. And whatever I do has got to do with saving it and safeguarding the sacredness of it. So I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. Yes, that is the sheep dip. The sheep. Suddenly we've moved from V's to P's. I can't keep up with it all. Just know that it's all a decoy. Nothing synthetic needs to come next to our bodies, in our bodies, around us, on us, in any way. We need to detox from the synthetic stuff. Okay, so your statement is the first part, the codement. This is Sanjay's question about the 2 strands of DNA. The 2 strands of DNA, we use 5% of the 2 strands of DNA for the coding. We use 5% of the double helix strand that we have for coding. Now, what's happening to the other 95%? Cannot be junk DNA. It cannot be. That is just a total decoy. All right. On average, we use 5. So more evolved people, more high vibrational people will use more than 5% of their DNA. The potential is much higher. So I think that answers the whole DNA is quantum, every single of the strands. The only 2 are visible in the physical form, the 2 strains that we know. The others are interdimensional. So you will find, the higher your vibration, the cleaner your body. You will find you very close. Your subconscious, your conscious, and your superconscious are very, very close. So you're able to read things, use discernment, pick up deception much easier. That's the one thing with a much higher vibrational space, and you will also be able to identify more clearly when you go into interdimensional spaces. and time traveling. So you will recognize specifically when you went back in time, and you'll recognize specifically when you went forward in time and came back. So, you know, I think we need to sort of set up another meeting on this. So Shirley, the products are available online. They're also available at Willeda. They're also available at Jackson's. But effectively, we have an online shop, yes. And we do ship everywhere. So that's also good to know. And, well, it just depends on, you know, if it's year end or whatever, on delivery times. But they're pretty good at that too. So, yes, we can do that. And then those people who are coming into the quantum space as well, the quantum device that I spoke about works in the virtual space, just to tell you. So we need some information from you, your name, your birthday, where you were born, etc. And then your subconscious, which in quantum terms is zero-based non-locality. So your consciousness might be here and now, but your subconscious is available everywhere. The subconscious and the superconscious are linked with what we call the morphogenic field, is where we came from, where the perfection that we came from. So these devices tap into the subconscious of the individual human or animal or farm or home, and the information comes back onto the world's largest medical software platform. There's nothing to beat it. I've looked, I've been around, I've traveled, I've seen. Nothing close. So just to say, when and if certain restrictions are put in place, the time has come for this quantum medicine, because you don't need to come in. Okay, and that suits a lot of people. Okay, and it is as effective. And then, you know, those people that want a device on their own, the smaller one, it's completely available, easily. So Vanessa's here, and so Vanessa, I don't know if you want to share, but Vanessa is a walking, living case study of exactly what I spoke about today. And she's saying to me, she feels like she's been brought back into her wholesome being, from scrapyard parts to a better machine. And there you go as well. Also, Hemant being part of a healing process. So that's just one. And thank you very much, Vanessa, for sharing. So, you know, it's out there. The truth's out there. The vibration's out there. You know, maybe we can get to the space where consciousness is our food. And that's a really good place to aim for, I think. And just do what you need to do. Live in the present. That's the most important thing. And as Diptaben said last week, I think it was, clear the traffic out of the brain. Stop, close it down. You know, that plug that we plugged in, it mustn't be hot. You know, it needs to be cool. So that we have the space to be in the present and to have our antenna out there feeling and giving us the feedback that we need all the time, because we are these beings that can do all this. All right, so we shift from illness to wellness at the end of the day. We track it, we show you in black and white, and you feel it. Okay. That was today's event. With this in mind, and you can think about this until next Thursday, what would you say to someone who wants to lose weight? Which we'll be talking about next Thursday. The Thursday after that, what would you say to someone, it might even be you, with high blood pressure? And then we can go on and on and on. On the 28th, we're going to have a turning point event. And there's a reason for that. There's an astrological reason for that. And you know, I like to have the turning points on astrological events, because I just think we really, we swoop into the new energy much, much better. And, you know, we'll be guided on that too. I think I can post the recording. It's not about posting the recording. It's about the download and the upload, because they're circulating bots that are looking for. I mean, we have stuff taken off our group. We don't even know it's been taken off. It's gone. It's disappeared. I didn't do it. If I delete, you see there deleted, but these things are literally disappearing into thin air. So I think so. I think we can absolutely do that. It's 1 hour 49. It's worth a try. I mean, I've got the original copy always anyway. I don't think there were too many words that's going to, alert any bot. And I did that on purpose. And you all know what we're speaking about. And we want success. We want to help those people before those symptoms get too bad. We want to prevent always, first of all. And so if you wanted to take 3 products, let's say 3 products for prevention, I would look at iodine, I would look at the para-immune defense, and I would look at one of the forms of oxygen. If you wanted to take 4, then let's bring the ormus in. And you got to buy flax seed oil. So now I'm on the 5th one again. See, it's hard. Already on 5 out of 7 again. Okay, and then you can always then decide on Phytoc C and stress defense and RNA, DNA, and those other wonderful, wonderful things that I've thought through. Good. I'm so pleased. I enjoyed being with you. And those practitioners that would like a copy of the product brochure, let me know anyway. I can put it on our group anyway. Those people that are not part of any WhatsApp or Telegram group, you need to contact me so that I can get in contact with you. Thanks, Anne. Thanks, everybody. It's really kind of you. And some of you, I mean, just like Anne in particular, she's been with me for ages. She knows her body. She's removed inflammation, which means if inflammation means toxicity, it's a symptom again. And she knows what to do, what not to do. She knows about her blood group. She's, really another person that took her health, in her own hands and healed and shifted on fantastic level. So there we go. We've got Judith with us as well, and Mira, hi, from Kenya. That's awesome. All right, sure. So what I'll do is I'll put that brochure on the various groups that I have, and then let's get the people that are interested in becoming practitioners. That's great. And you'll see also on the website there's an affiliate button. So it's complimentary to join as an affiliate. And what does an affiliate benefit from? You will get a 7% for any referrals of products or consultations or courses, not on the devices, but the products, the courses, the consultations. Simple as that. You get an affiliate link, as any affiliation works. And you then, if I post something, you post it on with your affiliate link and people join under you, and you enjoy 7% to starting off with referral fee. So there's another way. We're all looking for ways for alternative income streams. So we've offered that. All right. Absolutely fun, wonderful, and yes, let's put it together. If you think your pharmacist down the road is more on a functional, integrative, the health section in the pharmacy is growing a little bit, you could speak to them, for example, or your chiropractor, or your person who massages you, your yoga teacher, instructor, your homeopath. They could be interested in all aspects of what we have to offer, because we want people to have a choice 365 days of the year. We want them to know that. We want them equipped with knowledge and information like today, and we want them following prevention rather than waiting for when it's too late. And that's what I say. And then we think clearly and we live productively. Who doesn't want that? And, with high vibration. So that's the lot, everyone. I will start downloading it now, and then I'm available also on WhatsApp too if you've got questions. If anybody wants to get a baseline assessment done on the SKIO, the Adductor, the QUEX, I'm very happy to help. Even the SKIO operators, I can have a look for you guys as well, because sometimes not always that easy to do yourself, and you often can miss things. But also, I think, you know, interpretation of the information is often also nice and fun and creates a nice discussion too. So, yeah, we're able to do that as well. And let's get set on our paths, reset ourselves. I mean, honestly, a lady came in today. In fact, she's one of our practitioners. She's a physio. And she heard about what we're doing, and she made a beeline for here. And she's literally started practicing the next day that she got her device. And she was here today again collecting products. She looks completely different. She's nearly 70. She looks 45. She walks and she talks like a 45-year-old. She said to me, Jane, look at my eyes. They were completely bloodshot. She has these white eyes. And I looked at her body. Her body shape is completely shifted. Her facial structure is completely shifted. And none of this is engineered, I promise you. This is complete natural space. You know, and people are coming up to her and almost like not recognizing her. Are you? Yes, she says, I am. I'm Dr. So I'm the physio. So, you know, really miracles happen. And, you know, let's share that, and let's get many, many more case studies with people well. Right, guys? I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope you do as well. Thanks for coming across the oceans. And sometimes also, even if I repeat myself, you hear it differently, and it works as a catalyst to do something differently and to do something differently again. Okay, so next week, Thursday, it's just going to be once a week from now, because, you know, we did 9 months last year. Okay, and I also need to speak to Desi and Rita and see, you know, where we're going to gather momentum on that side as well. So let's see what happens. Okay, guys, lovely having you. Ciao, ciao, everyone.